can start all over so we can learn from each other as long as you're with me.
Say friends, come sit down by. I'm your pal old Sheen. It is great to see you again. I'm out here today as always with my pal Whiskey. We're finally back on the land after a harsh and frigid winter. And as you can see, I came in here and disassembled what we had established last fall. The reason for that is I'm going to get in here and do a proper build and reinforce and make this a much more rigid structure. Now I'll probably finish that, do a cookout, check on the progress with my fiddleheads, and as a special treat, I got this old antique plough that I'm going to restore. So we'll get to all of that and more here on Sheen Au Natural. So with the initial camp build here, I just used screws and I tacked it in with my power drill. And that would have been fine. I would have had to come in with and reinforce each point with some sort of a binding, which would have made the camp rigid. But I was fortunate this year and I decided not to do that instead because I was lucky this Father's Day. My children bought me this terrific power drill, and so I can actually use this with the auger bit to drill a nice hole where I can attach a log straight to the frame, and then that'll make it much more rigid and I won't need to do the binding thing. So of course power tools are not the most natural, but all's fair in love and hardware. So today I brought out a nice powerful generator that I can run this equipment with, and it'll make short work of this build. So I'm just going to go start that right now. You know, I dulled out the auger bit a little bit when I did some of these other posts, and I think because I hit a screw with it, so by the end there it wasn't cutting very good. I got to resharpen that. So that's why I didn't continue with the holes on this side. I'll get to that, but in the meantime I still got to improvise, I think. I'll just put in a roof truss over here and then string up a tarp, and I'll run that out temporarily and then go from there. So yeah, I'll grab a roof truss right here, one of my logs. No, boy, this is not for playing fetch. Crazy dog. Yeah, so I'm gonna put this one of these roof trusses, I'm gonna lay it right here. I'm gonna take the tarp and attach it to the roof truss itself. So I'm just going to tie it temporarily. Okay, so that's the roof trusses. Now I'm just going to take them and put them right on top of the frame. So this is a temporary measure, but it'll do. I'm just going to start with the tarp on this corner. Bomb-proof. Alright, that ought to do for now. At least we're out of the direct sunshine. I think my whiskey boy found some shade to lie in. Yeah, there's always something for old Sheen to do on the property. I'm gonna head over here now and have a look at that old antique plough that I've got. This plough is an old farming tool. It's been in my family for generations. So over the course of the years it rusted and don't really use it anymore. This is traditionally pulled behind a horse. So with conservation in mind, I'm going to try and restore this if I can. Maybe put on a couple of new handles, and I don't have a horse, so I'll have to find another way to pull it. That should do it for these new handles. It ain't pretty, but I think it'll do the trick. Let's see. Oh yeah, now I just got to transport this up to where we're building the garden, and I'll be able to use this, haul it behind my ATV and dig those potato beds. Since we're on the topic of horticulture, why don't we check out those transplanted fiddleheads that I put in. Wow, look at these fiddleheads. Come see you, whiskey boy. Look at the ostrich ferns. They really took to their new location. These transplants, they'll grow strong for seasons to come, but that's why I left them grow this season. I could have got in here in the spring and took a good scoff of fiddleheads off of them, but what I've done is I've ensured they'll be strong for the upcoming seasons, and they'll keep growing back here every year. I wanted to do a cookout of fiddleheads and show you how to prepare them. But of course I didn't want to take these, so what I did was I actually stopped into the field where I harvested these, and I picked a few late in the season, so I couldn't get a lot, but I got enough to demonstrate how to properly prepare fiddleheads in your meals. You hungry, boy? Give me a kiss. We had a great day out here today, huh? I know I'm a bit hungry right now, so I'm going to go over what we got here. So as I described earlier, we got some fiddleheads that I was able to harvest from that land where I got the transplants and brought out here. These fiddleheads, I'm going to show you how to prepare them. And this one, I know this one's your favorite. Oh yeah. This one is my beef a la Sheen. This is a special recipe that I've been making for years. I use a mixture of oyster sauce, lemon juice, beer. I also got some bay leaves in there, onions, chopped garlic, and some Montreal steak spice. And of course some secret ingredients that y'all are not going to be privy to here today. Sheen's secret recipe. So when I fry this beef, I'm going to accent it with some nice chopped mushrooms and onion as well. I'm going to chop up some garlic again. Boil up all these ingredients for a nice well-rounded meal that me and my boy can enjoy here today. So now it's important to note that when you're doing these fiddleheads, you got to blanch them. The ideal amount of time, according to Government of Canada's website, is you want to do these for about 10 minutes of boil time. And what that does is that releases any toxin that they might have in it, because fiddleheads traditionally grow in farm runoff areas and floodplains. So there's potential there for contaminants. By boiling it off for that 10 minutes will protect you and your family so you can enjoy the fiddlehead. Alright, so I washed my hands already. You guys got no worries. Alright gang, we're going to get some fiddleheads going in this pan right here. Like I said, we got to boil them down to make sure there's no toxins. So while we're waiting for that to boil down, I'll start my beef. Pour all that marinade in there. The fiddleheads are finished their blanch process, so I'm going to get them off the heat right now. So after I blanched the fiddleheads, I put them aside and went and got myself some fresh water. Just bringing that to a boil now for our corn. Then I'll put the corn in there. That won't take long at all. We got this fire going real nice. Add the garlic and onion this way. Winding down here, as you can see, we got this nice beef recipe. I mixed the fiddleheads and all the vegetables in with some chopped up beef. So I'm going to scoop that onto a plate, bring it up to the camp where we can have a fine feed, huh, Whiskey Boy? Oh yeah, you can't wait for that, huh? All right, and a corn. Nothing like a nice corn on fire. That's a meal fit for a king. Right off the campfire into our camp. Yes, sir. That's a fine scoff right there. Come sit down. Atta boy. Good boy. I'd say that's probably one of the best days I've spent on this land. Got out here, had another look at the shelter, reinforced it, made it a bit more rigid, put in a new temporary roof, block out that sun. Checked in on the fiddleheads. They're doing amazing. Happy to see that transplants took to my property. And we got at that plough, which is huge. I'm going to use that plough to really start the garden up above. So come back for that and more on Sheen Au Natural. Old Sheen's going to miss you.
As long as you're with me, let's build a life, live for our dreams, so we can start all over, so we can learn from each other, as long as you're with me.